Hey guys, we're still on lesson 2.2 and we just filled out our steps and we're still getting the hang of copying a line segment and copying an angle. So let's take a look at these questions on page 9 and 10. It says AB and point C are shown below. So here's line AB and here's point C. They want us to create a line CD. So it would look something like this, CD. We don't know how it's oriented. We don't know how long it is so far. They just said make a line CD. So it starts here and it goes wherever I want, D, CD. They also want me to make a line CE. So C and E. But they want me to do it in such a way that this length would match CD. Okay? Now it doesn't have to be parallel, but it's got to match. They also want this line to match CE. Okay, so as we are here, we're going to have to follow our steps, right? So back, they're wanting me to copy a line, and so I'm going to have to use these 4 steps in order to do that. I'm going to make a point. They already made a point for me though, right? I'm going to open my compass to measure that width of that line, AB. I'm going to move the pointy end to the new point and make an arc and find that point where that arc is. And then I'm going to connect those 2 new points. Now they've asked me to make 2 lines, so I'm going to do those steps twice. All right, so let's do it. Step 1, make a point. They already did that for me. Step 2, open my compass and measure how wide this is. Okay, now keeping my compass the same width, I want to do the same thing. So I'm going to move my compass over here and keep it that same width, right? And we're kind of pretending this at home, right? Because unless you went out to the dollar store and bought your compass, you probably don't have one, but I'm picturing this happening and I'm making my arc, right? Open it this certain width and I'm making my arc. Okay, so it looks like I've made an arc out here. Now it says pick a point anywhere on there, and we're going to call that D, right? And last but not least, I'm going to use a straight edge to draw as straight a line as possible, right? What have I done? I copied the length of AB to the length CD as best as I could. It's different, but it's as close as I could. Now I'm going to do that again, all right? So pick a point C. They want it to come from C. Open my compass the specific width, however wide AB is, and mimic that here. So I'm going to make another one over here. That would be CD, right? And I mimic the width of this compass here, and I'm going to make an arc. So I'm going to make an arc out there. And I pick a point along there. They've asked me to call it E. Last step, I draw a straight line between C and E. So what I've done is I mimicked the length of AB to the length of EC, right? And that's what this says. Euclid says AB, the orange line, is congruent to CE, the red line. Now that I've done what they've asked, I can answer the questions. Is it true that CD, the green one, is it congruent? That means the same length. Is green the same length or congruent to CE, the red? I'm going to say yes. Green is the same length as the red. So we can say CD is congruent to CE. And this is actually called the transitive property. We'll study that a little later. You may have heard that in algebra. It's this concept: if the orange object is the same as the green and the green is the same as the red, then the orange and the green would have to be the same, or the green and the red would have to be the same. All right, question number 2. It says, a city planner is designing a town so that the city hall is right at the center of everything. Okay, so there's our city hall, right? And they want it right at the center of everything. The police station, the hospital, and the post office. So the police station, the hospital, and the post office should all be the same distance from City Hall. The police station and City Hall are shown below. Place the hospital and the post office so that they're the same distance from City Hall. Well, if you're thinking about this, you're like, okay, this is the same distance. They want, it doesn't matter where you go over in which direction. It could be over here, over here, over here. Anywhere, this is anywhere you pick. But notice, my compass is a circle maker. If you want to use your compass, you can make a circle all the way around and wherever that lands. So we can use our compass to measure how far they are and then just mimic that, leaving it the same openness, and mark a spot that's the same distance, right? And do it again, right? Mark the width of this and mimic it here. Mark the width of this, and we could maybe mimic it here. Again, it doesn't matter to me where you do this. I'm just copying this all over the place, right? So I need the police station, I need a hospital, I need a post office, anywhere along in there. So as long as you put it somewhere in here, any of these locations would be fine. Place the hospital and the post office so that they're the same distance from the city. So what do we notice here? We notice that the post office to the city hall is the same as city hall to the police station and is the same as the hospital to city hall. All these distances are the same. The green, orange, and blue distances or lengths are congruent, which means the same measurement. Nice work, guys. There's lots of possible answers there. Question number 3, PQR. So they're saying this angle here, PQR, this openness of this angle, the openness of this angle is shown below. Construct another angle so that they are congruent. So that's just my steps. They want me to make this angle somewhere, anywhere here. And that means I'm going to have to follow these steps. So what are my steps? I'm going to have to make a ray, do the pointy end, keep the compass the same, make that arc, open the compass with those 2 points, and then connect those 2 lines. I'm going to have to mimic those steps, aren't I? Okay, so step 1, we're going to have to make a ray somewhere. I don't know, some students might like over here, so I'll make a ray. And they want the angle to be happening SRT. So this would have to be R, where the angle is happening. Notice here where the angle is happening is Q. So the letter in the middle is where the angle is happening. And then step 2, I want to put my pointy end of my compass here and make an arc, right? Identifying these points, and then I want to move the compass over, not opening or closing it, and make it that same arc, right? So make an arc, and in the same way, make an arc. Identifying these 2 new points. So PQ, R, T, I guess I could call those U and V. Now opening a compass, UV, I'm measuring how far UV is across, and in the same way, I'm going to do that here and make an arc. Measure, copy how wide UV is, and copy that over here. So UVW, so from W, I use my compass, and I think I put my arc somewhere about there. There's my arc. Identify where those cross, and I'm finally at the last step. I can connect the dots. Oh, wait, why did I call that W? I'm supposed to call it S. Good thing I have an eraser. I was supposed to call this SRT. Uh-oh, T's already over here. Oh, wait, and R's already over here. So, and you know what? I messed this up. I didn't mess it up, but I did mess it up. I see what they want me to do now. They want me to put PQR over here, you see? SRT. Okay, so I'll try that again. I'm going to make my arc, and then from here, I made my arc. Then from here, I got to make my arc. Yes. Okay, from here, I got to make my arc. I got to measure the width here. And then from here, I got to measure the width and make an arc. I identify where those meet, and that is where S is. Okay, that's better. So I'm going to erase this. You don't have to, though. That's totally okay to leave it. But I've done it. We've copied PQR over here to SRT, and I did my best to make them the same size as best as I could. All right, last question. 2 more questions. We'll try to hurry. A city planner is designing another town, and City Hall is right at the center of everything. The angle that the hospital and the library make should be the same. So the angle the hospital and the library make with City Hall should be the same as the angle that the police station and the post office make with City Hall. So this angle needs to be copied, and the angle needs to happen at City Hall. Place the hospital and the library so that they form the correct angle. Okay, I think I have a shortcut for this. If I use my straight edge and just lengthen this line, and I have a straight edge and lengthen this line, I think that this angle should match this angle, right? So now I just have to use my compass to measure how far out I am, right? Measure how far out and mimic that here. I could mimic it over here too. In fact, I think I will. Measure how far out and mimic that over here and make an arc. So this would be where it doesn't matter, the hospital, I'll call this the library. Right? And then I'll just kind of erase this a little bit. That's the library. Then I'm going to use my compass to widen this out, right? And measure that same width over here and make an arc. So my arc ends up being somewhere over here. I'll extend that. So notice, oh, you know what? They don't care about the distance. They only care about that angle. So without running off the page, I can put them much closer, anywhere on there. I can put the library here, and I can put the hospital here. And all they asked is that they make the same angle, and that definitely is the same angle. Cool. Okay, last question. And there's a lot of possible answers. This was just one way you could have answered it. Question number 5, the town wants to install 3 lampposts around City Hall. Okay, so if this is City Hall and 3 lampposts, somewhere along in there, right? Let's see exactly where. The city planner has decided the distance from City Hall to each lamppost must be the same. So that sounds a lot like a circle, right? The distance from here to here is the same as here to here, is the same as here to here. That's actually what a circle is. It also says, so if my City Hall is here, they want each lamppost to be the same distance from City Hall. They also want it to be the same distance from each other. So that's important. They want these evenly spaced. So the lampposts need to be evenly spaced. So I'm thinking a picture something like this. Okay? Use a straight edge and a compass to construct a drawing where the lamppost could be around the City Hall. Explain how you get their placement. Okay, so how could I do this more precisely? This is just my sketch. Okay, and then how do I explain my steps? So, might have to do a little thinking here, but I think I've done this before. If I take a dot and I make a circle, right, around that dot. Well, that dot doesn't look like it's in the middle of there, but it's somewhere about there. And I measure my compass. So I take my compass as a measuring device and measure a line and do it again. Don't make it big or small. Measure it again and do it again. And I 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 do it again. If I do it a total of 6 times, something really interesting happens. So if I make a hash mark there, and make a hash mark there, that same distance, and make a hash mark there, that same distance, and there, that distance, and there, and there. So I go all the way around. I notice that all the way around is 360 degrees. And so what I've done is I've divided it in 6 equal pieces, which is going to be 60 degrees. And notice I could put lampposts like every other one, and they would definitely be equidistant, the same distance from one another. So this distance and this distance and this distance should be the same distance away. Let me use a different color though, because they said make sure the lampposts are the same distance from each other. So this is the distance from each other. And make sure that the distance from City Hall is the same. So this distance and this one are all the same. I believe we've done it with our compass. We just have to explain what we did. So step 1, we made a circle. And we measured the radius with our compass. And made an arc. Right? Measured the compass, made an arc. And then measured the same compass, made an arc. Measured the same compass, made an arc. So we kept the compass the same. And then repeated step 2, around a circle, and we picked every other new point. This method gave us the 3 locations of the lamppost. Thanks for joining us, guys. See you next time.